We are live.
1 second, doctor. Yeah, we are live, doctor.
Recording in progress.
I think you have to put it. No. Yeah. Or you have to sit somewhere. That's it. It is resounding. Okay. So, hello everyone. Good evening and welcome back to Tea Talks Tuesday once again. And today is very interesting topic. Especially this topic has two important things. One is being a food safety officer as a job opportunity for food science student, and the other party is all our dietitians and nutritionists are very closely associated with the food product development and the food selling, customization of the foods, etc. So regard to that, we have lot of questions because that side of the market we really don't know, and this part also we can understand from today's speaker. Today's speaker is Shruti Eleti from GHMC. She is the food safety officer working there. So Mayuri will give you more information about her. So over to you, Mayuri.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another interesting and power-packed episode of Tea Talks Tuesday. So I'm here today to introduce Shruti Eleti, who is a food safety officer from GHMC. She's not only a food safety officer and a dear friend of mine. She's here. We both did our MSc from Quality Humans. So coming to her bio. So currently she's working as a food safety officer for GHMC, and before that she holds a double PG, Masters in Nutrition and Dietetics, and also Masters in Food Science and Food Science. So after finishing her Masters in Nutrition and Dietetics from Osmania University College for Women's Koti, she flight to UK and she did her Masters in Food Science from Northumbria University, and where she was involved in a project called project by name Partial Deacidification. Am I right, Shruti? Deacidification of orange juice by ion exclusion chromatography and analysis by HPLC. And she coming to her work experience, she worked as a hygiene auditor at Equinox Labs, and also as a quality executive from Creamline Dairy, Jersey, Uppal, Hyderabad. She was also she also served as quality auditor from Paradise Foods, Team Valley, Newcastle upon Tyne, UK, and currently she is a food safety officer from GHMC, and she also has she also holds an internship from as internee dietitian in KIMS Hospital, Hyderabad, and she has also participated or organized a nutrition camp in Rangapur village in India way back in November 2008, and she was also an internee in quality control department of AP Foods, Hyderabad. So over to you, Shruti. This is about her, and over to you, Shruti.
Good evening, everybody. Hope my voice is clear.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for those nice words, Mayuri. And actually, as Mayuri said, we both did our MSc together in Koti Women's College. And currently, I'm working as food safety officer in Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, Telangana State. And I look after circle number 7, Santosh Nagar, Charminar Zone. And today I'm here to speak about the role of food safety officer. Coming to this food safety officer, I got into GHMC last year. I started off in September 2020, and my recruitment was done through TSPSC. Like I cleared an exam. It has 2 papers. One was general paper and the other was technical. It all happened in 2 months span. Later, we had all this procedure and I got onto board in September 2020. It's been like 15 months now. I'm into this job. And coming to food safety, let me share you the PPTs. Give me a sec. Mayuri?
Okay. Yeah, we are able
Screen?
to see. Yeah. You can make it a slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just a second. And actually, being food science students and nutrition students, we all know the basic definition of food and what is the purpose of having food. How does the food support us in a physical way, emotional way? It's like it's a basic part and the most important part in everybody's life. So coming to this definition is a technical definition which is given by, which is in the Act. It is like Food Safety and Standards Act 2006. It is a technical definition.
Can you,
And
one
coming to my
second.
job,
1 second. Can you make it full screen, like
From current slide, and you just
from the beginning? Yeah.
from current slide.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Start.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Better. And like coming to my job, we stick to that FSSA Act, like which is our constitution of food, I can say. So like we don't go away from that act. Whatever we do, it's according to the act. I mean, we act according to that act. It's like that. And as you know, like food is just food. Just go through the definition. It's clear and it is understandable, right? I don't want to get into all those definition and details. And here comes my role, food safety. Like we are here to assure that the food the people are consuming is safe and the quality is good. That where I come in. Like in my day-to-day work, I visit starting from this Pani Puri Bandi to we go till Pista House and Taj Falak Numa. It's like that. The chain is like that. So in my day-to-day work, I keep going to all these food establishments and I check for like the premises. What are they preparing? Are they maintaining standards? Is everything okay? Do they have a license? Do they have a registration? And all those things. And if they don't, or if they are failing to have all these things, I am there to explain it. Previously, before this Food Safety and Standards Act, we had this Prevention of Food Adulteration 1954 Act. That was like, it's an old style act. But according to this FSSA Act, like straight away, I can't go to the FBO and say like, you don't have a license, you don't have a registration, so I'll punish you or all those things. First, I'm here to create awareness among the FBOs. That is my duty. Being a food safety officer, first you create awareness, give them some time and let them execute. It's like that. So always I make sure I give a chance to the FBO. Straight away I don't punish them or we don't end up in penalizing them or prosecuting them. So food safety, as a definition is saying, it's an assurance that the food is acceptable for human consumption. This definition is also according to the Food Safety and Standards Act. So actually, I didn't find a good picture. This is my own picture, which I've kept in the slides. That was during one of my inspection in Vista House. So Food Safety Officer, we are appointed under this FSSA Act according to the sections 37. There we come in that act. And coming about this act, actually, before origin of this act, we had many, acts related to food, which are listed in this slide. Like you can see PFA 54, 1954, FPO, MFPO, Vegetable Oil Order, MMPO, and other Essential Commodities Act. So this FSSA Act, this is like, correlation of all these acts. It's like all those acts put under one umbrella, and which was approved by Parliament and President of India. Like, let me take to next slide. Coming to this FSSA, the objectives are like, as I said you, before this FSSA, there were multiple laws and people had a lot of confusion. To remove that confusion, this FSSA Act was brought in. Like you can see the slide, to consolidate multiple laws and establish single point reference systems. All the food categories, they fall under this act. I mean, FBO need not get confused. Once they get into I mean, once they visit this FSSAI website, they'll get an idea like what to do, where to approach, how can we do this, how can we start off, what all we need to follow. And one more objective of this FSSAI Act 2006 is like establishing FSSAI, Food Safety Standards Authority of India, which is located in New Delhi, and also to regulate manufacture, storage, distribution, sale, and import of products. FSSAI Act comes in each and every part of food production, that is starting from farm to table. In each and every segment, FSSAI comes in. I mean, it comes in like you need to take license for everything, starting from manufacturer, repacker, reseller, relabeler, who is distributing, who is selling it, and importing, exporting. In all these chain, FSSAI comes in, and it is a must. And the utmost important objective of FSSAI, this act is like, making sure the food we are consuming, people are consuming, is safe and wholesome. That is the like utmost important objective of this act. And it is suitable for human consumption. This is FSSAI. It was established under Act. Its head office is in Delhi. And coming to my role as food safety officer, like now, like I have this registration authority as well. See, you people can visit this FSSAI website. You will get all the details. And one regulation today I want to discuss is about this licensing and the registration of business. The regulation is like Food Safety and Standards, Licensing and Regulation of Food Businesses 2011. This you can find, in-depth information in that site. You will have the act separately, where each and every term is defined detailedly. You can, if you go through that, you will get a clear idea. 1 second. So, when coming to food businesses, if the food business turnover is 12 lakhs and below, they come under food registration quota. And if it is 12 lakhs and above, they go under license quota. And this registration and licensing authority is in the hands of registering authority, me, myself, food safety officers like me and my colleagues in GHMC and statewide. And licensing authorities with designated officer, there are superiors statewide. And turnover is, if the turnover is more, or if the company is operating in 2 to 3 states throughout India, they come under central licensing authority. And the authority is with central DO, central designated officers. And the technical officers are all appointed under this act. Each and every section specifies, like section 37, as I told you before, we are appointed under section 37. And the same applies with our designated officers also. And our head within the state is like Food Safety Commissioner right now. And coming to this regulation, licensing and registration regulation. See, what should I say? Let's go through this silent features once. This is a unified licensing procedure, this regulation, and we have a common application forms and procedures. In this regulation also covers, as I said, you starting from this Pani Puri wala to 5-star rated hotel. Everybody is coming in that frame. No one is like, excused. Or some or the other, they fall in that line, starting from registration to license line. And distinction between registration, as I said, it depends on the turnover. There's a clear cutoff, like 12 lakhs and below registration, 12 lakhs and above license. And if it is more, it's like they come under central license. For more details, please go through that regulation, because it depends on food product category, how much they are producing, what is the sale, is it in tons, it depends on the liters. If it is a meat, slaughterhouse production. It depends. It depends whether it is registration, state license, central license. It is categorized like that. And coming to like granting of license and registration, and you people can go through this table actually. See this how it flows. In FSSAI there is a chief executive officer, and there it is divided into state government, central government, and with central government it is like FSSAI headquarters, which is located in Delhi. There are zonal directors, and these zonal directors coming to Hyderabad, Telangana, and AP, we fall under South Zone. We have a South Zone director. And coming to our state, we have like within municipality, GHMC's exemption. We have our own DOs, and we have our own FSOs, and we have statewide FSOs and DOs also. And in state, as I said, we are registration authorities, and the rest are like DOs. They have authority to issue license. Coming to the procedure of licensing and registration, once if the FBO he intends to start a food business, he should make sure that he is dropping an application. It can be done through FOSCO's website. FOSCO's website, there he can create a login ID and a password. There he or she needs to enter all the details, like starting from name of the applicant, company, where the premises is located, like corresponding address, what kind of business he or she wants to get in. And there are some mandatory documents, and there are some supporting documents. He or she can do all those things. Then that application comes to me. After it reaches me, I need to accept the application, and I can assign the inspection. Then I need to go to the site where the business is intended to start. I need to conduct an inspection. If I am satisfied with inspection, I'll approve registration certificate. Same happens with the license as well. But for licensing, there are some more extra additional documents. As the turnover is more, they need to furnish this what do you call this financial documents as well, because IT returns, some other documents, supporting documents. For inspection also, FSO goes to the place and checks all the things. If the FSO finds it satisfactory only, the license will be approved. And one more point, the FSO has the right to reject the application or reject the license and registration certificate after issuing also. If after issuing, if I don't find the FBO's establishment or the way he's conducting business satisfactory, I have the approval to cancel the certificate also. And it's the same with the license certificate as well. And coming to my roles and responsibilities, if you see the slide, we go for inspection, for registration and licensing. We go for inspection, and normally also in my day-to-day, I do a lot of inspections. If I receive complaint, I'll be there. For regular inspections, I'll be in the food establishments. And we also have if there are any, for example, if there's this mango season in summer, we need to visit these fruit markets and pick the samples and send it to the lab. We have that surveillance part as well. And in my monthly work, we also collect food samples, from 6 to 10 different food samples I need to collect. It's a long procedure, there's a lot of paperwork, and I need to send the sample to the state food laboratory, which is located in Nachar. Then after 15 to 16 working days, the result is in. If the sample is unsafe, the FBO will be prosecuted and fined. Fine will be levied on him. And if the sample is substandard, then it is adjudication. It's only up to fine. And if the sample is misbranded also, it's only fine. I mean, we are giving a second chance to him, not like, sending him to jail directly. If it is substandard or misbranded, we are giving a chance to rectify actually. And one more thing is like we do this training programs as well, because people are, frankly speaking, people are not aware of this act so much. It is a basic responsibility of FSO is like create awareness, then I need to start acting on them. Otherwise, people will be like, to be talking in general, people ఎట్లా చెప్తారు మా దగ్గర అంటే ఏంటి మేడం మాకు ఇదేం తెలియదు మీరు ఏం చెప్తున్నారు యాక్ట్ ఏంటి ఫైన్ ఏంటి దే విల్ బి స్కేర్డ్. Main intention is not scaring people or petrifying people. No, before it was like that. Give them a chance, teach them awareness. Creating awareness is the like tick mark in this act, which we follow actually, we follow that. And you can take actually more details about this licensing and registration can be found in that act. Please go through that act. It's a long act. I couldn't consolidate so much, so I made a few slides and I kept it over here.
Can you go to last slide once, Shruti? Last slide. Yeah,
This one, ma'am. Ma'am.
Training of food business operators to implement their plans. I wanted to know the details of that.
This one on training, awareness and facilitation. Like ma'am, see, recently there was adulterated tea powder which was caught in some district of Telangana. Adulteration in the sense there's a lot of color in the tea powder. People are not aware, like, they look at only that monetary benefits and they start adding. And even coming to consumers want, food to be more colorful. They are less bothered about the side effects of that. So first of all, I need to create, educate the FBO. Then he'll stop, using that addition of color to tea powder or prepared food or anything. Actually, today also, during my work, there was a tea stall where the FBO was using the tea powder. I asked him to show the tea powder. It was like there was a lot of color in it. I did a spot test. Like by adding a little amount of tea powder in water, we can do the spot test and we can detect, whether it is of good quality or any other calories added. There was color. So I told him to like stop using that color. Like I'll be visiting him again, like whether he's following my words or not. If he's not following, then I'll lift the sample and then I will send it to the lab. Then he'll be in trouble. First oka chance aithe istuna valaki atla.
Nice. You're giving one chance and then educating them, bringing awareness, educating them about the side effects of the using substandard things. And then
and one more thing, when I go to normal inspection or registration or licensing inspection, I keep telling about many points. Like once I enter the establishment, I talk about lights, I talk about walls, I talk about ceiling, flooring, drainage, kind of water they are using, what oil they are using for frying, like how are the food the workers over there, are they wearing apron, cap, mask? As it is COVID season, there's a need to do that, make sure that they're wearing all these PPEs properly. We need to educate.
So if, do you give any training for startups, like how they have to maintain all these standards, complete standards of workplace
like,
and self-hygiene and all these things?
Actually, ma'am, there's a program called FOSTAC. There they can go for this training programs. That FOSTAC has 3 levels of training programs: basic, medium, and advanced. People can go for this basic training. It's a like taught program. I think Mr. Anjaneyulu Chaganti.
Yeah.
Sir, he keeps giving those training programs. Even
Okay.
I have attended like 3-4 years back on training program. It is like it's a nice brief up of, all the things to be followed when you are into this food business. It is very helpful, actually. I think people should go for this training and get into the food business so that they'll be in less trouble, at least.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least they will know the
what all
at
they
least
need to follow.
the framework structure and everything they will understand.
And yeah, go ahead, Shruti.
And the place where I work is like Charminar zone. People, when I go and ask them for license, what they say, madam, ये क्या होता है मैडम लाइसेंस हमको मालूम ही नहीं है फूड बना रहे तो फूड लाइसेंस लेना है ऐसे बोलते they keep saying like that. Then I say like नहीं भाई ऐसा है पूरा सिस्टम बदल गई आपको लेना है ऐसे अप्लाई करो ऑनलाइन में अप्लाई करो नहीं तो आप ऑफिस में जाके एप्लीकेशन डालो I keep saying them like that.
There is one one consistent sentence that I keep hearing. People keep saying that it is no use if you put online application. It will not. You better you go directly to the person and get it done.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, I keep approving a lot of applications daily, but
Online.
the application and the things they include in the application should be satisfactory. One thing to be underlined. If I
And
don't,
suppose if it is not satisfactory and not up to the
I mean,
mark,
I suggest them.
you
I
will
suggest
again
them.
tell them.
We have a time frame, ma'am. It's a time frame. It's a time bound thing. This approval of license and registration. So in that time, they need to. If they are up, like if they follow the suggested changes, we approve. We approve. Before it was little hectic, but now it has been eased a little. So that, because all FBOs are not educated.
Right.
And they don't fall in this 5-star, 3-star and big hotel categories, right?
Yes.
So things need to be a little simpler.
Right.
And like, even FSSI side, the technical team in Delhi, they keep updating things. I mean, they try to simplify the things and they know what the what kind of difficulties the FBOs are facing. They keep updating, they keep changing. I mean, they keep accepting the suggestions. Even we send them a few recommendations, like, people are facing all these things while operating, all those things.
And Shruti, I had this question, like you were mentioning about the, the training process for the startups, the basic level trainings and all. So where is this information available for, many of the people?
It's an FSSA website.
It's okay.
FSSA. Okay. FSSA, it's like a Bible or Quran or Gita. You get everything over there. But you need to have a little time to read over the things.
Right.
Then,
lot of information.
like you are somewhere 85% your work is done. 15% you can. It's like that.
Okay.
It's like that.
Yeah. Money.
And one more thing we are planning to do is like food safety on wheels. It's granted by central authority. It's like a bus. It's like food safety on wheels. The term itself is understandable, right? It is a bus. It has all testing facilities over in that bus. We can do this bacterial testing, chemical testing, basic chemical testing in that bus. We can take that bus to all the places in Hyderabad and we can conduct a test on the spot itself. Like for example, you take milk or oil or generally used food items. We can do tests on the spot. It has been granted to our GHMC. Very shortly, we'll be using it.
Awesome.
One more advancement in our in my role. Tell me.
Very nice.
Nice. Shruti, can you stop the screen sharing if it is done?
Just a second. Give me a second.
Yeah, Money, you can ask your question. Mani Shweta.
Shruti Garu, actually, the standards, whichever you are telling, I think these are for the already established foods, whatever we have it. So right now, actually, I'm into microgreens business. So I'm not getting little clarity on, these things. where to find the information on related. In India, I see very few people who are doing this.
Ah,
So standards and where to search those rules and regulations and how what are the standards which are set by FSSAI, so and which have to be followed. Those are not
Micrograms.
noticed or available. So where to get such details?
Shweta,
Yeah.
good evening, Shweta. Like
Evening.
are you cultivating those microgreens?
Right.
Or
I'm not
you
doing-
getting from?
No. I'm actually doing it from home. I do it in my balcony.
Mm.
So I actually had a commercial setup plan, but this is also one thing which troubled me before going for a commercial setup, because we
Okay.
have to follow certain standards and all those rules and regulations, wherein I'm not understanding what have to be followed. After everything settled up, then again these issues turn up. So right now I'm doing it in my balcony. I grow them and I sell them to my neighbors and few marts which are available in local markets. But I haven't gone for the complete packaging and all those things right now. I'm working on them. In meanwhile, I also wanted to take this food safety thing also.
Okay. I got your point. Actually, if you're cultivating, like it's a farm, for example, take our farmers, they don't fall under this category. As such, they don't have standards for cultivation. But once you're packing them, make sure you get that license. I think you'll be getting a license under this vegetable category. There are categories, you will be getting that category. But for production, as you're cultivating it, for that you don't need any license. But for
Actually,
packing, you need one.
Right, exactly. I approached a few people. They said the same thing, since like farmers they do and they give their produce.
They don't.
That is how
Exactly.
it is. So mine is also the same thing. So you don't have to worry. But the next step after this, slowly, what I have done, I have moved to see. For example, I provide wheat grass, microgreens. The next step which I moved to is making ice cubes of wheatgrass. This is where I'm actually in a dilemma whether to take the license or get it registered, because it is being processed. It's not the raw thing which I'm actually picking up from my farm or mini crop or something and giving it, but I'm also processing it. So that is where I actually have a dilemma, and the persons whom I approach, they are also little confused. They're not able to give me the standards or tell me what have to be followed.
And if I'm not wrong, there are no standards for your product. I think this is a very new product which you have come up with, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's already there in out of India.
India.
But right now, that is the thing wherein I'm actually being so worried to go public and give them. I already have the sheets also ready, wherein I'm giving it only to the people who trust me, like who are in my close circle and
circle. Got your
people
point.
see.
Got your point.
But marts are there wherein they're already taking my microgreens, and I introduce that. I also want to give it to the juice centers and people like who go to all these fitness freaks like gyms and all. I want to give it to them. But before giving to them, I'm still in a confusion whether to go public or no. If I have a query or if somebody complains or comes up with raises any issue, then what is the next step? I have no clue. So how to go about? Can you just suggest me on
Actually, coming to your greens which you are cultivating and you're selling to your closer circle, for that you can do this packaging part and apply for license. For that, there is a category. But for those cubes which had, can you say that once again? Cubes?
ice cubes? Wheatgrass ice cubes.
Wheatgrass ice cube. It sounds like it is an entirely new category and there are no standards for that. You need to wait for
Maybe you can
little more time.
look into this ice making standards. Suppose maybe you can look
Maybe,
into
yeah.
But
Ice
one more
making,
thing, coming to the ice cubes which you are using, from where do you procure those ice cubes? That is a very important point.
This is wheatgrass which I cultivate. So I put it in a machine, like juicer, a raw thing. I extract it. and add little water because I cannot put the complete raw and concentrated wheatgrass as a cube. So I mix little water, which is like
Extract.
mineral water. Yeah, mineral water, what we get it. So I mix little water, dilute little because it shouldn't be so concentrated. I dilute it and I fill in those ice cube sheets. We get ice cube sheets directly.
Yeah.
Wherein we fill it, then I put it in the refrigerator, deep freeze. Then they become ice cubes. I'll just show you those ice cubes thing. Maybe you'll get an idea.
So as such, you don't procure water from any other place, right?
No,
I just wanted to ask that point.
No. So this is how I have.
Can you show me the other side of that?
I actually didn't put the labeling. The biggest challenge is if I start labeling for this and give it to any marts or somebody, they have to put it in the freezer, and that label goes off. So they don't stick on this because little watery.
It's watery. Yeah.
So
from where did you purchase this ice bags?
These I have purchased from the Amazon. So what we do is, I have already customers and I'm also using these almost, it's been 2 years wherein I'm using this. So this is how, I keep taking 2 to 3.
According to your usage.
Yeah, 2 to 3 ice cubes and then start consuming it daily. Because this is one product which I came up as giving my products like wheatgrass and microgreens in market. I see there's a very less shelf life because it's a tiny crops. So then alternative I was actually looking out. Then I have found somebody doing out of India. Why shouldn't I try? So before trying, I actually experimented on me and my husband and my family. It was actually working out. People, people found a difference. Then slowly I started giving it to my closer circle, whoever is doing it. Then they started recommending also. I got references and I got sales like that. So things are working out. They look positive.
But you are stuck up at this FSSC license.
Exactly. I have everything posters and everything ready, benefits of this, everything ready. And the best part of this ice cubes is out of India, they say it's like 12 months is the shelf life. Minimum 12, like 1 year. But I'm not suggesting anybody 1 year. I'm saying it's maximum use it before 6 months. I actually, I cultivate, so I do it fresh on order. If anybody orders me, like I say them to give me order at least 1 or 2 weeks prior. Like if the sheet is getting over, there's one only last sheet, then give me an order. Then I start cultivating it, I then juice it.
Make it fresh.
Yeah. So use it before 6 months. Maximum is 6 months. Only to be on the safer side. The better sooner you use it, the better it is. So if you can suggest me on this, it will be a great.
Actually, Shweta, this is entirely new product. Let me gather some information from my technical team from Delhi. I'll try doing that for you.
Want to go public? The thing is,
I got your intention.
Thank you.
I got it. But shelf life, why did you decide it like 6 months?
I just made. I actually used it also. What I did is I kept.
If after 6, let's say at 5.5 months, did you check the quality?
Exactly. That is what I'm about to tell. What I did, I said it's been 2 years which I'm using it. So when I started experimenting, what I have done, I have put dates on 5 or 6 sheets. I maintain 6 sheets like that. Then I started giving dates. Then every 1, 2nd, and 3rd month until 6 months. I only try till 6 months, to be very frank. After 6 months, I didn't try. Till 6 months, what I have done, I have picked up 1, 2, randomly those cubes, and I started tasting them. So the taste actually didn't change much. Which for the fresher, fresh wheatgrass juice, which I have extracted for that. And the second, previous month, and again 6 months, 5 months previous
older versions, you say.
Yeah. So for everything, there was a slight change, but not very noticeable because I know the taste. I could make out. But it's
And what about this color and appearance?
color and appearance, it didn't change. But one thing what I noticed was when you make a juice, it looks like consistent, normal, anta okate laga. But when you start putting this ice cubes, I have to put hot water because I cannot drink so cool thing in the early morning. That is, those are the things which have to be taken early in the morning. That is where we advise wheatgrass juice. So,
Okay.
empty stomach. So for that, what I do is I pick up 4 ice cubes, put it in a glass, and then add hot water. Then it comes to the normal temperature. For 2 minutes, I'll let it sit. It comes to the normal temperature. We can have it, but the thing is, I notice it does not look like a consistent juice from the top to bottom. Slowly, the particles break, like green things start. I mean, wheatgrass. I mean, maybe I don't know how to explain, but little water settles up. Whatever water I add, that water comes up, and those green things settle.
A grass part, a green
Right,
part, it will come down.
if I make it sit for the longer time. But if I immediately have it,
Consume?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
So,
So with this quality aspect, you have tested, I mean, you have tried it and you
that
have
I have
tested,
tried.
you're okay.
It's like I'm the experimenter. I mean, it's me and my husband. He always goes through all these things.
Okay.
And
Right now, I mean, there are no specific standards, but I'll help you. I'll get into touch with my team and I'll get back to you. And one more thing, if you are just packing those greens, then you can take a go for license and say like, in the pack, water like wheatgrass, date of packing, weight, cost, your manufacturer address, license number.
Shruti Garu, what actually, I started doing this 1 year back. I started selling these things. When packing in packs and giving it, labeling and giving. But one worst thing which I faced and challenged, or maybe that my conscience is not accepting, I need to pack them in a plastic, plastic dibba, see through. Which I actually am very against to this.
Okay.
The more better I avoid plastic is what I actually prefer. So again, trying.
You want to pack in a food grade material and eco-friendly maybe.
Yeah, food grade is actually, I want to do it even though it is expensive. I want to do it, but the matter is it's not a see-through, and they don't give much shelf life as plastic does. So me investing on so much thing and putting them, and 1 or 2 days, on the second day they start showing very small phase. I mean, those greens become so little.
The freshness will come down slowly.
So people
And
will not get it. So that is why it's okay if I don't go commercial, if I don't sell also, it's okay. But I don't want to promote plastic.
Okay.
That
Okay.
is,
And
stuff.
Food grade
can I
plastic
say
can be
one
used.
more point, Shweta?
Yes.
Like, why don't you dry those wheat green and try that kind of product?
Yes, that
Instead
is,
of freezing it, drying it will be like, shelf life and all those aspects will be
wheatgrass
good.
powder. Yes, wheatgrass powder is already available in market. There are so many players who are already doing it, and my husband works in an organic company. So they also have that wheatgrass powder. So I even tried it. I mean, initially before growing and all those, I tried it. The challenge, or like a consumer, if you ask me, I didn't like the texture, or the way it is being consumed. This is easy. This is like you can just add it in your juices. If not in a daily, in the morning, the whole day, you can add it in juices or in buttermilk. I give it to my kids adding in a buttermilk, wherein they feel it's a ice thing, and they want ice and some green thing. But when it comes to wheatgrass powder, you cannot drink it. Just give it a try. The thing is, even if you mix it in buttermilk or juice, you cannot consume it as like pleasant.
It's like more it's like special and time taking. It is like that.
Yeah,
that wheat
exactly.
powder.
And that powder will settle down. Whatever you mix, you don't feel like drinking immediately. So you wait, you make it sit for some time. So what happens, that powder will settle down. So whatever powder you mix, half or that 2/4 of it just goes waste.
Okay, okay.
Got my point. So again, you're wasting the
This
food.
the product which you have come up is like efficiency is more, right?
Efficiency and the storage wise, and
Why,
also easy to use.
Hmm.
And
And acceptability is also more, right, compared to that powder.
Right. People who already took wheatgrass from me, people who started buying initially wheatgrass from me, when I have introduced this, I told I'm actually going on my gut feeling, wherein I tried and I'm trying to sell it. If you like it, just give me the feedback. And the best feedback I get it from them is better than, see, I give them weekly once or twice since they subscribe. So I give it on Monday, for example. They keep it till Wednesday, that wheatgrass, and they juice it in the early morning and then drink it. On Wednesday, what happens? Anyways, the freshness goes, and it does not taste as good as the day one, as sweet as the day one.
Yeah.
So when they started taking this wheatgrass ice cube, it's like it was quick, like plug and play. It is quick, and the taste is consistent. They're not finding any difference in the taste. So it's a consistent, and they feel that it is as fresh as like day one or day 6. Any day I pick up, any day I take it. It is consistent. It's not bothering us.
Variable.
So that is the best thing. And they started taking ice, and it's a little like expensive than the fresher ones, because I have to work out on electricity and packing, right, and the labor which is involved to remove, extract the juice, and again put it in the sheets and all those. It is little expensive, but still people are ready to take up that instead of that fresh thing. So I want to get into the public thing, but I don't know how. I'm just stuck.
I'll let you know.
Sure.
Give me some time. I'll talk to my team and I'll let you know.
I
would have told you, but this is your product is entirely new. So I'll let you know.
I actually got your link around 3:30, somewhere around by my husband suddenly shared, and he said, just go through. I don't know what it is. Maybe it will help you. Seriously, it helped somehow. I got some suggestion. There's nothing as such, but it will be settled, right?
I'll get back to you.
Thank you. Sweta, you can watch this program again on Facebook or YouTube. We'll post after this program is over. Within an hour, we'll post this program.
Sorry, Janaki garu, ma'am, emannaru ardham avvaledandi.
Actually, we'll post this program in YouTube, or you can watch in Facebook also. The same program. It will be there. Tea Talks Tuesday is the name of the page. Yeah. Facebook.
I didn't know. I'm not prepared. I'm like, however.
Not at all. It's very nice and genuine. And I would like to take this opportunity to see your farm, little cute farm.
Even I am excited too, Shweta garu.
Actually, I cleaned up. The thing is, my parents and my in-laws were a little sick last 3 to 4 months, wherein I was not active for last 4 months. I'll just show. This is my setup. This is how my setup will be. There's nothing, but you will find all. I'll clean it up and I just put these things. So
great.
Once in a week, I normally clean up, but I can share you the photos or videos which already I have taken the full greens whenever they are there. I normally I take up those pictures and keep it. So maybe I can share them if you want.
Sure.
That
definitely.
I can do.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think it's actually a pleasing thing, and I'm happy that I connected it.
Maybe Shruti, you can just share your email ID here. So that Shweta can get in touch with you. Shweta can get in touch with you in the chat. You can just share. Shweta can just get in touch with you later.
Yeah.
Just a second.
So any other questions from audience?
Shweta garu, I have sent it on chat box.
Yeah. I'm noting it.
Okay. You can.
I think I will be grateful. I mean, how did you feel about the products? Like microgreens is one thing which is not in India's market right now, going very fast. But I see there's an awareness still much better compared to last 2 years when I started entering into the market and getting into my friends and all those. It's like I had to give them awareness. I had to educate them what is this and what are the benefits, and then slowly, start them using it, push them for trying it, and then go for it. Maybe I didn't. I was never commercial for this. I want them to get benefit of this microgreens.
Mhm.
Slowly, I'm also planning to get into the YouTube only to make. I mean, give. There are so many channels which are actually helping out on microgreens and all those things, but I want to make it exclusively for this, wherein I want to help them to know how to grow them. At benefits and all those can be googled, but still I'll have to share it before I do it. So after that, have to grow them, and the best and the biggest challenge is have to use them in our Indian context. What happened, I mean, the challenge which I faced initially was when I started growing, I didn't know how to
Any
use them.
question you have?
The thing is, we cannot cook them. We should not cook them. They have to be eaten either raw or can be used at the end of the dish, like just like a garnish. కొత్తిమీర వాడినట్టుగా. సో వాటిని కుక్ చేయలేము. అండ్ మన దగ్గర వితౌట్ కుకింగ్ we don't eat anything maximum, most of the food. So that was a real biggest challenge for me, wherein I slowly started introducing them into the sandwich or salads and mixing it into the roti dough and all those, and omelets. So slowly, so I got into the Indian type of, like in dal, how it has to be used. There are few channels, but I want to make it exclusively for this. Maybe I think I can help some people eating good food, not just filling their stomach. Whatever they eat, they have to eat little. If they eat little, also eat good
Healthy
food.
ones.
Yeah, healthy food.
Any more questions?
As of now, we have no questions on the Facebook, doctor.
I have a question. May I?
Yes, Raji, go ahead.
Yeah. How do we get the expiry date of products? I mean, is there a standard? Is there any standard, or is it like we have to find out?
Good evening, Raji.
Hi.
Hi. Like it varies from product to product, and it is in the hands of manufacturer. They do this R&D of the product, all the study, and they come up with a expiry date.
Okay. About products like spices or general products, like processed, I understand, but if it is natural products, is there is it?
It
the
is
information on the
like for
side?
this spices and powdered form of spices, usually it ranges from 6 months to 9 months, not more than that.
Okay.
And it also depends on the type of processing technique which they are using. It varies. And it is all dependent on FBO.
Probably they can get this, the shelf life test done, and based on that, they can give the expiry date, right?
That is in hands of FBO.
Yeah. Shelf life test can be done in any of the laboratories, and you can just go with the expiry date kind of thing.
Deciding the date, expiry date.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, audience, any more questions? Who is on on Zoom right now? Jaya ma'am is here. Ma'am, would you like to?
Hello, ma'am.
Jaya ma'am. No. May.
Just at the side of wash basin.
Yes, doctor. In any other questions from you, Dr. Janki? Doctor, unmute.
No, I don't have any questions. It's very nice because this is one of the program for bringing awareness, and this topic is very interesting. And Manish Shweta brought up very nice and nice concept actually, and she has also from growing microgreens to making it to ice cubes so that people can consume it even after some time also, because the shelf life of microgreens will be very less. Okay, that is really good. An added thing today for today's talk. And Shruti, you have really given very good insight into how we have to go about, and you put the people at ease by saying that we'll give a chance.
Yes, because practically, I mean, things are different theoretically and practically. What we
Yes.
read, we can't apply it in the field.
Correct.
It is different, ma'am. That's why I need to give a chance.
Yeah.
Give a
So
chance.
we can take a chance and then
Yeah.
correct ourselves and then do the right business.
Even if we
That-
fail in the
yeah.
main exams, it's like we have supply.
See, actually, it is age-old option, giving a chance, taking a chance. We are just applying it now.
Yeah. I'm
I-
remembering the song "Take a Chance on Me" from ABBA. Okay.
Right. And
Great.
another question, Shruti, many of the, food science students and, the nutrition students or whoever it is, can you please explain what is the exam they need to go through and, when does the notification comes and, what is the process? If you can just give a little brief about it, it would be useful for the students.
Usually, right now, when I got selected, that notification came after some 10 to 15 years, coming to state government.
Oh,
State
okay.
government.
Okay.
Yeah, state government.
But coming to central government, this FSSAI recruitment, it happens annually. So all the students who are pursuing graduation, post-grad, they can check it online, visit FSSAI website. There are like a post starting from assistant director to technical officer, central food safety officer, technical team. Every year, actually, I think in the month of September, the recruitment notification has come up, and the last date for application was some around October 7th or 8th. It happens in that time, usually September. Please check in that month, guys. If the students are much interested in this food science field, please keep checking the FSSAI website for all the updated information. It will help you a lot, trust me. If you want to get into this food science side, please keep checking that site daily, like what all is happening, what are the new notifications that the government has given regarding recruitment, regarding the standards, regarding regulations, and everything will be posted in that website. It will be helpful.
Okay.
And if you have any doubts, you can write to me. I have mentioned in the chat box. You can contact me. I'll try to help to the maximum possible.
And I guess this knowledge of nutrition in MSc and then getting into the food science would have helped you a lot. Maybe it is helping you currently in educating.
Actually, as I hold both masters in nutrition and food science, they go hand in hand. They are not different. They go hand in hand. I believe in that. And I try to apply this nutritional aspect in my job as well.
Great.
I keep checking all this nutritional labeling. I keep asking the people. See, there are FBOs who come into the business after, they gain knowledge till 60 to 70%. So they'll be lacking in 30%, right? Maybe if I share that information, that 30% in a gap, they'll be feeling it, right? So I try to help them as well. It's like that.
You're telling 60 to 80% they know, but I frankly speaking, 5 to 10% also we don't know. I mean, coming to me, I seriously don't know 5 to 10%.
Actually, Shweta garu, meedi chaala kotta product andi. Yours is an entirely new product. Neen first time vintunna. Wheatgrass telusu naku. I know about wheatgrass gani. But I like the technique. The way you are using the technique, a food science technique, that is nice.
Thank you so much. And I'm actually in
That is
future, I
fun.
want to In future,
See,
I'm actually.
good thing Shweta Garg, you're clubbing both the beautiful nutrition and manchi food science.
Science.
That technique is good. I like it.
Nutrition
Jaya ma'am, she was faculty when I was in graduation. Madam, from the very day when she used to tell us, they go hand in hand. Adi, that is
Yes,
in my mind.
exactly.
That is in
Even Jaya ma'am spoke on this forum.
Same.
yes, ma'am. Got to know from Mayuri.
Yeah, she told same. Food science and nutrition are
If
not separate.
madam she speaks like we'll be listening. అసలు టైం తెలియదు మేడం మాట్లాడుతుంటే. Good olden days of her lecture. Any more
future, I'm
doubts?
also planning, and I want to get into, like dehydrating this wheat. I mean, not just wheatgrass, but also the microgreens.
That was I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
asked you
I mean,
about.
right now, my focus is little. I mean, I have put on few because it has become like one man show, one woman show. It has become so everything I'm handling it, like from packing and labeling.
Maybe you spoke about this powder, right? Instead of that, you can try those dried capsules of wheat green, something like that. Maybe you can.
Yeah. We'll see in future.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. True.
Thank you, Janki Madam Garu. It's really, I am actually happy that you like the concept, and all the Shruti Gar and everybody, whoever is there. I'm happy that I could at least say that, there is something other product called microgreens, and which is in the market slowly coming up.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that. And I heartfully thank that you liked it and you appreciated my concept, all of you.
Nice. It is nice. Must continue on that.
Sure. Thank you.
All the best for you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It means a lot. This encouragement, and I mean, it motivates us to do. And you won't believe it's like gives very peanuts. We cannot. The more commercial we go, the less satisfaction we get. We don't earn so much from this, but the satisfaction, the motivation and the happiness which we get it from people who start using it and start encouraging and saying that it's good and it's helping somebody. My product
that itself is a big boost for anyone.
It's a big achievement. I feel it's a big achievement. It's going and it's helping somebody. That itself is a big achievement too.
And your micro farming, that also gives you a lot of satisfaction, and it's a good activity.
Exactly, Andy. Initially, I mean, now I have become a kind of, business mode. But initially, when I started growing it, I started it for my family, frankly speaking. So when I started growing for my family, looking at those small baby plants coming up itself was a big, happiness to. It's a mood booster and all those things. Then slowly harvesting them and then looking them on the table, eating those things which I have grown on my own hands and telling my family this is what I have cultivated, and these are coming up from our balcony. So
it's
great
like satisfaction. Definitely.
that cannot be fulfilled by anything. Nothing can fulfill these things.
Correct. Nice. Today's topic is very nice.
And a great discussion.
Good discussion.
Yeah.
So
yes, doctor, we are good to go.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank Shruti LAT for being here on Tuesday Tea Talks and giving us such a wonderful insights on food safety. FSSAI, and all the tips and all the important points that you have covered, and it was very informative session. Thank you, Shruti, for being here. Looking for a lot more, a few more sessions with you as and when needed in future.
Thank you.
Maybe we need specific
yes,
information
doctor.
on specific food products.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Mayuri and Ma'am Janaki. Ma'am, thank you for inviting to this Tea Talks. It was a nice session. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
We enjoyed it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all. See you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care, everybody. Take care. Thank you.